my Area 51 line. You're on the air. Hello.
Welcome to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast, where what you've known as reality will be shattered by the truth. Krista and Brandy will lift the veil from your eyes, revealing what has either been hidden or denied you for eons.
Hey.
Here we are again.
Wow, the same faces.
Yes.
We're back.
So if you're just flipping over from the Four Blondes and One Mystery at a Time podcast, well, here we are again with the beautiful Natalie. She's come back to chat with us again.
Yep.
Yay.
Thank you so much, ladies, for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. You know that.
You can always barge in. We don't care.
Oh, thank you.
We don't
Thank you.
mind.
You know, we love to have fun.
We do.
That's right. That's
we
right.
do. Both on and off air.
That is so true.
Well, I mean, again, we got to say happy Friday Eve to everyone out there. If we didn't catch the last hour, well, hello, this hour.
Happy Friday Eve.
That's right.
Love to see you.
We're so close. We're so close.
I know. It's just one more day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we have tonight Tony Colombo. He is a St. Louis DJ. He's on 101.9 St. Louis Talk Radio. And I did a little session with him on Halloween. And I talked about Bigfoot and Emmaus. And both of you have been to Emmaus. So we can talk more about that because he's been there also. So, and we're going to take him Bigfooting out there next year. So Natalie, you're going to have to come up for that.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to bring him on up. Hey there.
Hey guys.
I'm glad you agreed to come on the show tonight.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to go Bigfooting at Emmaus. I've ghost hunted there before, but I've never Bigfoot hunted there before. So I'm ready when you are.
You're in for a real treat.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can tell you some of the things that have happened out there on the Bigfoot side of things, but we won't do that on the show. We'll tell you backstage.
I love it. I love it.
I do know you can't stay the full time. So whenever you have to go, the snow, it's all cool. We're good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'll be here for a while for sure. But at some point, there's going to be a kid that has to go to bed. But we got plenty of time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I totally get it. So let's just start off with how you got interested into the paranormal.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I am on the radio here in St. Louis, and I have been for a very long time. It's been 26 years or so now, which is just a crazy number to me. But I've always been into paranormal stuff, whether it be cryptids or aliens or ghosts, whatever it may be. I just, I've always been fascinated into that sort of stuff. And for a long chunk of my career, when I moved from music radio to talk radio, as you mentioned a minute ago, I'm on 101.9 and 94.1, a station called News Talk STL. It's a fairly new station. We just launched it just over 4 years ago in St. Louis, so a fairly new station. And before that, I was on a radio station, 97.1, and a show called The Dave Glover Show, which was a talk show that did news and politics, but also, a lot of other lifestyle, different conversations and discussions. And, I was one of the main co-hosts of that show, and Dave Glover, the host of that show, also were big into the paranormal. So we started incorporating that into the show more and more. And it became, for almost 20 years, like the biggest show of the year was our Halloween show. And as the show gained popularity and more people were getting into our annual Halloween special, we were getting more and more opportunities to visit places. So over that course of time, sometimes multiple times a year, but always around Halloween, we were getting the opportunity to go to some of the biggest, most well-known haunted places all around the St. Louis area, and also sometimes the not so well-known
Right.
haunted, places around the St. Louis area. So I've had a chance to, investigate the Limp Mansion and the Exorcist House and McPike Mansion, and also just people's. Some years we would go to somebody's, a listener's house that would send us questions and information about what was going on at their home, and so we would go to locations like that as well. So because of that, and then I've kind of carried that over now to the news station and my show there, and that's where I've hooked up with I know friends of your show and my Frankie and his team at Haunted Garage. Have a good relationship with our station, and through that have been able to continue sort of that journey and visit places like Emmaus Village, where I was several months ago with those guys. So it's been a part of like my radio career, but also just a part of my personal, desire to get an opportunity to go and check out all these great places. So I'm fortunate enough to have seen and to go to a lot of these different places and have my own stories, but I'm always fascinated in hearing other people's experiences as well, because again, just one of those things that I love to experience and love to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just start off with Brandy and I have done extensive shows, several actually, on this channel about The Exorcist and The Exorcist House. Let's just jump right into that.
Yeah. So that was an amazing experience, because obviously that was always a huge a desire of ours, was because we're in St. Louis, and so we're in the hometown, we're right where that happened, and but for a long time that was the owners of that home were just not we're not interested in any type of publicity, because that house is literally just in a neighborhood. It is in a normal neighborhood on a normal street with neighbors on both sides, really.
Actually,
yeah it is not, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't, if you didn't know, it would not be something that you would ever realize. That's where this little boy, it's a girl in the movie, obviously, in real life it was a boy, and you would never know that that's where those experiences happened. And so they didn't want to call attention to that, and we would literally ask every year, if not multiple times a year. And finally there was a new owner who was more open to it, and since we had just always been sort of right there, watching what was going on there, trying to get an opportunity to investigate there, we were front of the line. And so we were the first team to be able to go in there and do any type of investigation in decades. And I think that since then, I think there's been several. We've been there twice, and there was a TV special there that we got to participate in as well, several years ago on Destination America, the network, because of our attachment, because of our connection to it. And so, yeah, that was like a holy grail kind of thing, like trying to get into that location. And we finally were able to do it, and to be in that bedroom, where you, in the movie, if you remember, in the, like with the old priest and the young priest, and going through the exorcism, and to know that, obviously Hollywood, the movie is not exactly real life, but that was a real thing that happened. And to be standing in the room where that happened is, was just an amazing experience. And we definitely had some things happen there while we were there that are tough to explain. I'm always looking for, the not paranormal explanation, because as much as I am a believer, I don't want, I'm not a blind follower. I'm not a somebody that will just, believe every story that I hear. I've got to see it for myself, and I've got to check all the boxes and eliminate all the other possibilities before I'm willing to say that, this was truly a paranormal experience. And there was definitely some things happened while we were there that were weird, that were unexplainable, and it was a lot of fun.
Quick, I just want to introduce you to Paranormal Paul. He's a fan. He listens to your show.
Paranormal Paul.
Awesome.
What a great
Tony,
name.
thank you.
He's one of us. He's
Krista
one of
actually
us.
named
So I
me
told
that.
him, I was like, hop on. He's here in St. Louis with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
Was. I heard
Yeah,
St. Louis
nice to
radio
meet you.
guy, and I come running. So hey,
That's awesome. Well, it's great to meet you. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, sir. And I figured it was red T-shirt night, so
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I missed the memo.
I
had to represent the radio station.
You got your moist shirt
Yeah.
on.
I do. I have my moist shirt on.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So I've been at that house as well, and the current owners, at least I think it's still the current owner. He doesn't believe in heaven or hell, and he doesn't have activity, that goes on there is what he says. So do you think that has anything to do with why he doesn't have activity? Because like an ex-team member was scratched there, like there's been lots of activity got there, but why don't he have activity, or maybe he's not open to it, you think?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I've had that. I've asked mediums and psychics and people that are sensitive that we've worked with in the past, because you wonder why some people are more are more likely to have an experience than others. And I think there's definitely something to the if you're not looking, if you're not interested, I think a lot of times maybe they're also not interested in you. So, and you're also probably more apt to just write if something strange sort of happens, a weird sound or a weird breeze or, a door sort of swinging open or something like that. I think also you're just kind of more, if you don't believe in anything like that, you're just more likely to just write it off in your head and not, and not even think that could be a paranormal experience or anything like that. So that's my best guess, is that if if you're not interested, they're not interested, and if you're not looking, you're not going to find anything. So I don't know if that's how it works, but that's sort of my best guess and understanding at why some people, and there's definitely people that are just more sensitive in general. So yeah, that's my best explanation for that.
Yeah. Because I feel like if I would move into that house, it'd probably be crazy activity,
Because we'd be looking for it too. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's super sensitive to it.
And I think, if you're not looking and you're not giving it energy, it's like, well, then what's the purpose of me having fun? So
yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of times they're not really, they don't. Sometimes you come across a spirit or whatever, whatever your version of the other side is, that want to communicate. They have something to say, but at least in my experience, I would say many times they don't. And so if you don't want to talk to them, they don't necessarily want to talk to you. So unless they have a reason to.
Sure.
So, I think that definitely plays into it as well.
Yeah,
and investigating with a medium, a psychic, is just a real trip when you're walking down the hallway and all of a sudden they stop, turn, and face the wall, and they start talking to somebody, and you're like, that is pretty cool. I mean, Natalie was doing that too. That was pretty awesome one time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I sometimes wish that I had that connection, and then other times I'm really glad that I don't, because I'm not sure I'm not sure I always want to hear what they have to say. So I'll just be the guy that I'll be the sidekick, and I'm fine with it.
So when you were at the Exorcist house, can you talk about some of the things that
Oh
happened?
yeah, sure. So the craziest thing, the most unexplainable thing that happened while we were there was like I said, this was our annual Halloween show. So we had a team along with us. And we also brought listeners who had a chance to, register to join us. And we selected a handful of listeners to come out and be a part of the investigation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, we did it with all of them, but this one woman had a particular experience where we were putting them in the house alone, and we had sort of in the backyard, in that detached garage area in the back. That's kind of where we had set up our base, and we were putting them up in the bedroom where the boy's bedroom, where the exorcism started, and before moving him to SLU, or if I have that timeline right. So we would put them up there in the room, and then everybody would exit the house. So there was no way that there could be somebody moving around downstairs or in the other room that would make noise or possibly, interfere with what was going on. And in the room, that was in there was a chair and a little table with a candle on it for light. And then we had them up there with a camera. We had multiple cameras in the room. We had them mic'd up, and we just wanted them to be in that silence in that room and with the recording equipment, and an attempt to get some kind of communication and some kind of response. Mm-hmm. And one of our listeners was in the room for about 10 minutes and sitting in the room. We can hear what she's saying. And we have a little bit of a feed from we're a little ways away because we're, in the backyard, and we told them, if it just gets to be too much, just say, "I'm done, come get me." Yeah. And we'll be there immediately. She's having, she's clearly nervous and, on high alert, for lack of a better term, and attempting to communicate. And a couple times she mentions that she thinks that she hears something, and she may I think I heard a voice. Can you say that again? I think I just heard movement, or felt something. And it was like that for a couple of minutes. It wasn't like it built to this. It just exploded. She was having some type of slight communication or hearing or feeling some things, and then suddenly she is in a sheer panic, screaming for us to come and get her. I'm done. Please come get me. I'm done. Please come get me. So we rush, as fast as we can into the room. We talked to her, and she said that she felt like something touch her,
wow,
like more than just a brush, felt like a presence in the room. Mm-hmm. And when we went back, like I said, we had multiple cameras in the room and that candle. And when we went back and watched that moment where that happened, just as and this is, again, she's the only one in the entire house. She's obviously the only one in that room. There's nothing else in that room. The windows are closed. And the door is closed. So there's not anything. She's not moving. You can see her on the camera. She's not. So there's no outside force that would mess with the candle or the lighting or anything else. And right as that is happening and you see her start to freak out, just a half a second before that happens, you see the candle, the flame, grow to 3 or 4 times the size that it was the entire time that she was in there before that. This candle just, and candles don't do that, especially if there's not air or something, something introduced to the atmosphere to cause that to happen. So the candle suddenly gets huge, which brightens the room tremendously. And then as you're watching, and we didn't notice any of this stuff until the next day or two, as we were analyzing and, going back and combing through the video and to see what we could, see what we had and could talk about on the air and post on the website, and all that sort of stuff. So we're watching this after the fact, and we're just our jaws are dropped, and so this candle gets huge. You see some of the smoke from the candle, in the room as it's illuminating, and the candle, the smoke from the candle, which is not much. It's not something that's super apparent to see, but once you see it, it becomes very clear. Is definitely a form of like a person. So like the upper torso of a person, and that seems to be passing right in front of her. And again, this is all at the same moment that she starts to say, "That's it. I just felt something. I'm done. Please come get me. Please come get me. I'm done. Please come get me." So it just all happened, and it's all it took me 5 minutes to tell the story. The thing happened in 5 seconds. It's just it was just, but it was so clear. Like the form in the smoke was so clear, and the fact that the candle had such an unnatural reaction. Which again, she was up there for about 10 or 15 minutes before this happened, and the candle never changed. There are multiple other people up there throughout the night that did the same thing. The candle never changed. Nothing like that ever happened the entire time that it was up there. So to see all of those things happen, and again, I'm always looking for, an explanation, and I can't come up with one other than something else was in that room. Right. So that was a real, and I think you can find. I think you can still find it. I know that we used to post it every Halloween on the station website. And I don't know if they still do or not, but it's out there, and you can see it for yourself. And I invite anybody to figure it out.
You know what I wonder though about that house, because the house is an old house. It's it's an older house. Yep. And is it something there has it always had something? Maybe others have passed away in it. Because I think to myself, yes, the exorcism, they did start doing it there. But like, if I'm the devil, I'm not going to sit and hang out and, you know what I'm saying? So, So could it be something from before or residual maybe from the exorcism,
Yeah. I don't know because that's such a great point, because the family, the boy and his mother, that were at the heart of this are not from St. Louis, and they had just come to the area, I think, from Maryland. And, and I think that was the boy's aunt's home, and they were going there, I think, to be, again, it's been a while, so I may have I know there's probably some like exorcist nerds out there that are like, actually the year was, but but so forgive me if I don't have exactly the right timeline, but he was already starting to have some experiences before he got to St. Louis and before he got to that home. So did he bring it with him? Did it come with him, and then for some reason did it stay, or did a piece of it stay? It's a great question. Like, why, if it followed him there, why didn't it, maybe because the exorcism, a lot of it was performed there. Maybe that is the reason why some of it, stayed. But yeah, I don't. You wonder if if it's the same entity, if that became, if that kind of became a hot spot because of that situation, and maybe it's a different entity now. But yeah, I think he probably brought it. I think it was something, going on with him specifically, and he brought it to St. Louis and brought it to that home with dealing with whatever he was dealing with.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah, because I'm kind of wondering if perhaps that other people who have been in there brought things with them also, that just kind of left them there or something like that. I've noticed that a lot, that people do carry these things around with them and don't realize it, and it's kind of like they pick them up somewhere and then drop them off somewhere else, and
Yeah,
It's
I mean, especially like people like us that go to all these places.
Yeah.
You know, like are things following us? Are they going, coming and going with us because we're around things like this so often? I don't know. If I feel like it can't. I mean, it sounds like as plausible as an explanation as anything else. When you think about it that way.
Well, yeah, they're like, hey, I want out of here, and I don't know where to go. Maybe so I'm just going to hang out with you until I find it.
Yeah,
and we're safe. We're going in there friendly, and like, I like you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we always had somebody. We always had folks with us. One of the ladies that we worked with all the time is a local psychic named Vicky Main, who would always go through the proper protection, circle. I don't know the right way to say it all, but we brought protection, to try to make sure that nothing, if it did try to follow us, that it couldn't get to us. And so I never had that. I never had, an experience where I felt like, I really, this was, I may have brought something with me, but exactly. But
Brandy
it was
knows
always
all
really
about
important.
that because she seems to bring these suckers.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do. It does not matter. It's just like, this chick's fun, and then they come, they think for a little while, and then they're like, man, we were wrong. She's boring. We need to go.
One of the upsides of being boring is they don't stay that long.
No, they don't. They're like, gosh, all she does is do these podcasts. She goes to bed and she goes to work. That's all she does. That's boring.
Have you been sensitive to things like that your whole life? Is it something that you noticed even when you were young?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that people are just either, you're either born that way or you're not. I think that there are ways to learn how to get, more in touch, but I think that there's just some people just have a natural connection to
it seems to be that way. Yes. Even from a young age, even before I could remember, my mom would tell me stories about incidents that would happen. And I had a great family. And my mom would explain it to me like this. I'd be like, hey, Mom, this is going on, and this is going on. And she goes like, well, sometimes that just happens. And then just shrug it off. I'd be like, okay.
Like, I don't got an answer. Yeah. Sometimes it happens. Just rub some dirt in it. Bye.
Put a Band-Aid on it. It's all good.
There you go.
It's fine.
And I think that the more you go to these locations and the more you're around this stuff, the more you're opening up and the more you're talking about it, the more you open up to it, and the more things can, come to you and stuff like that. And, I've had a lot of things happen to me that I never would have thought before that I had happened. So I think that's definitely a part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then, you guys mentioned Emmaus Village, the Exorcist location, that house was, because of its fame and, such a well-known story that happened there, that, like I said, that was like a destination spot for us for so long, but it's been amazing over this period of time that I've, been into this stuff in the St. Louis area to see a location like Emmaus Village, like suddenly pop up on the scene. When you think like Flint Mansion's an amazing place that's got, is known nationally in the paranormal community. And we have some other places like that around us. But for a place like Emmaus to, suddenly be discovered seemingly here in just the last few years is incredibly exciting, because that place is as active or more active than any of the other places, the long list of places that I've gotten a chance to visit, which is cool when you see new places to discover and learn about in our area.
Yeah, we've all been there, and even Natalie, she lives down in Florida, and we drove her over there.
Yeah,
so
it was awesome.
It's an incredible location, as you know. And real quick, I just want to say something to Castle Rock. Give me a call. He says he's got an attachment, and Alex is a good friend of ours, mine and Brandy's and Paul's, and give us a call because you don't need any attachments.
Call me.
at all. Yeah, call us.
No attachments. That's
Yeah.
not a good word. I want
Not
no attachment.
Not at all. We can help.
And after the show, you might want to go back and listen to 28 minutes and 50 seconds thereabout. There was a beep that I heard. And a few
Yes,
other
I
people
heard
in
it
chat
too.
Okay, so
I heard it
don't
too,
know
but
what
it
that
didn't
was.
sound like it was coming from me this time. Maybe it's you guys.
Yeah.
It's usually me, but it's probably somebody over there.
I didn't hear it, but there's
You were talking and you may not have noticed it, but it was definitely there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tony, we have weird things happen on Blondes and Booze. One night I was telling everybody bye, and then it was Brandy, myself, and Heather Mosier from Small Town Monsters was on with us, and I said bye-bye, and literally a girl's voice said bye-bye. We captured.
Wow.
Yeah, it's captured right on our
the
show.
house is not haunted.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. that's incredible.
It's weird. It's weird stuff. But onto Emmaus. Let's talk about Emmaus for a little bit. Because we had, the last time I was out there, it was after our conference, and Brandy was there, and Natalie and Paul, and there were several others out there. Mm-hmm. And they were across, we stayed at the Airbnb that's across the street. And them guys went over to investigate. Well, Natalie and Paul were over there. And then Brandy hung out with me and another guy, Brian. And we were hearing from behind us tree knocks and just crazy things were happening that night. Okay. So make a long story short, we all had a couple drinks after that and we were sitting around talking. We all went to bed. Got up in the morning. I had to leave early because I had to take Bigfoot Michigan Rob back to the airport early. So I had to get up and leave and take him. But Natalie and Paul, you guys stayed. So tell Tony and show Tony what you captured.
Yeah.
Well, before that,
I've done a lot of paranormal investigations, like ghost, but I have never done a real Bigfoot excursion.
We'll be all of us up here on this panel.
Yeah.
Right.
So I haven't either. Just to preface it, I haven't either. And that was one thing on my bucket list. But before we show what we found, that night we also saw like white lights up in the trees across behind Emmaus. And I thought Brian said he saw some behind the woods. We were in Airbnbs across the street and those were behind. There was a big thing of woods behind us. So that morning after everybody left, Natalie went over to Emmaus Asylum to film stuff. And I didn't want to get in her way. So I was kind of hanging out on the bridge and stuff. And I kept hearing knocks. And, I don't know if it was, tree knocks, something going on in the woods, or somebody that lives around there hammering something. I don't know. But after Natalie came and finished filming, we walked back up to the tree line. We're kind of just looking around, filming a little bit in there. And then I happened to look down. Actually, didn't we see an egg before this?
I don't recall that, but I know that we were looking and we kept hearing these noises up in the hill. And we were told, don't go in beyond the wood line because of the ticks. There's really bad ticks. And we didn't have gear to go in. So I'm like, we can just walk along. And and Paul is in one area, I'm in another, and we're just kind of like seeing what we can hear and see. And I was taking some film. And for whatever reason, I looked down and I'm like, no. It was a footprint. And it had rained. So there was an impression, and I picked up some of the leaves and it measured 19 and a half inches. And you saw the toes, you saw the heel, you saw the arch.
You could
see it. It was incredible.
That was right behind our Airbnb that we
saw.
Too bad we didn't have casting material with us.
I know. I had no gear with me. None.
No, we were ghosting.
Yeah, we're ghosting.
We were at a conference.
And I was in shorts and flip-flops. I think I wasn't about to go in the woods.
Yeah, and I'm like, and so here we are. And then all of a sudden, and we looked around, we believe we may have found or could have found a partial print. And it was like a good 4.5 feet from
Behind
that
it, yeah.
print that you saw, but the ground was harder, so it really you couldn't see really good definition. But we knew we were hearing a ton of stuff.
And didn't we think that it was the same right foot or left foot that was behind it? So it would have been actually would have been two creatures there too.
Yeah.
So
man, that is that's to me,
and,
I really want to have an experience like that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So
we all need to go back out there and stay at that Airbnb and just see what we see here all night.
Yeah.
And you know, ever since then, that is all I've been thinking about. I want to go back in the woods. I want to investigate this more. I want to get out there more. So yeah, let's do it.
So Brandy and I were there over Memorial Weekend. And we were there with Miguel Ramirez, Sasquatch Theory. He's a big channel. And then our friend Terry Mosby, she's into the UFO type things. And I kid you not, Tony, that night we had paranormal activity going on. We were in the sets building. I don't know if you remember the picnic table sitting up in the woods, if you saw that while you were there. But there's a little picnic table behind the sets building.
The ramp that goes across the woods.
Yeah. So we were sitting out there. We had paranormal activity going on in the buildings. We had tree knockings going on behind us, and up in the sky, I kid you not, Brandy is my witness. We witnessed over 20 UFOs. And our friend Terry was there. She has an app on her phone that tells you what's a satellite, if it's a plane.
Yeah.
If it's legit.
I have an app like that as well, that you can point at the sky, and you can, if it's a satellite, it'll just, identify. Yeah, it'll tell you exactly what it is, what satellite it is.
What we were seeing. And I kid you not, there was at least 20 of them. Am I right, Brandy?
Yeah, there was a bunch, and they were moving at such a rate and in these odd directions that you couldn't say that they were planes of any sort. Because their movements were not just straight like a plane or a helicopter would fly. They would kind of zigzag around, and then they'd shoot across from one another. They were doing a whole bunch of erratic movements that I don't know anything that we have that could make that. You know.
So let me ask you guys this: is in a place like that at Emmaus, what all that is it related? Is there a reason why there's so much activity with totally seemingly unrelated areas of, the paranormal community, like the ghosts, or do you think it's just, it is, I mean, for Bigfoot and for ghosts, it's in the perfect location. So I get it. And make that all makes sense. But it's just amazing just what a hot spot that area seems to be, and it's so huge. It's hard to explain to people. Like, we did our investigation. We were there for hours, a whole evening and long into the night, and we barely scratched the surface. There's so much land, and there's so many buildings, and there's so much there that there's just it's a vast amount of things that can happen.
I don't think there's any explanation of why it's a hot spot. I mean, we talk about all the places, like the famous one, the most famous Skinwalker Ranch. Of course, why is it like that? I don't know. They're still trying to figure it out. They haven't figured it out. So, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even begin to tell you why it's like that. I mean, but there are several spots in the state of Missouri that are like that. You just see all of the type of paranormal and supernatural activity that nobody can explain. So, I mean, I guess that's why we do what we do.
Yeah. And to have Emmaus and all of these mysteries to investigate and learn about is just a really exciting time. And Kristen, you and I were talking about this when you joined me on my show on Halloween. I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it. It also feels like that just acceptance to a certain level, even though I don't really like to use that word, but just also participation in the paranormal community in general seems to be growing more now than I can ever remember. And I don't know, I don't know if it is an acceptance thing that people are just becoming more open to the idea, but it feels like, and I think it's a good thing, that more and more people are curious and getting involved and going and booking these types of investigations at places like Emmaus and Limp and Arcadia Academy and all these other great locations around the area. Yeah, do you guys feel like that? You feel like that there are more people getting involved now than before?
Yeah. Well, back in the day, if you remember, you had your UFO community, you have your crypto community, you have your paranormal community, and they didn't mix. They did not mix well. I believe in UFOs, but I don't believe in Bigfoot or ghosts. Now,
I believe in UFOs, but if you believe in a ghost, you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think I even said this on your show, more people are seeing coming out of the box per se, to look at it and say, hey, maybe these things are connected. Because like I said, we were sitting there at Emmaus, we had all three things going on at once. What does that mean? So it's opened my eyes.
How do you even keep up?
Where do you look?
I don't know. I mean, and another thing that is helping, especially the paranormal community, is a lot of these historical landmarks are opening up to us to investigate, and they're relying on us to help them save the buildings, to help with repairs and all of that kind of great stuff. So, I mean, it's kind of a great thing that we're going hand in hand with a lot of these locations, because we do get to give back to them and help them keep the doors open.
Right. Real quick, we have a quick question about that. Loud and Rowdy asked, during the investigation, did anyone check for markings like crop markings or any other odd markings? So unfortunately at Emmaus, it's in a valley and it's all woods on both sides of it. So it's hard to see if there would be anything like that. So
if something landed there, we would have seen it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying we would have seen it. It couldn't have left anything, because we'd have seen it first and foremost right there. It is a valley. It's not a huge valley.
Right.
So
and
yes, and it's a very wooded area. So we would have seen it for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So whenever you're ready to go, Tony, you holler at us. Let's wait.
Well, you know what? I do need to go in a minute, but I wanted to ask you guys before I go. I wanted to ask the whole group, if somebody is watching this or listening and they're interested maybe in getting going on a ghost hunt or paranormal investigation. If you one place in the St. Louis area or maybe a couple places, like where would you guys recommend somebody go if they are hearing this and they're like, I want to go and check this out for myself and see if this stuff is real or not?
Right.
Where would you, if you had a chance to only do one more investigation, in the St. Louis area or anywhere drivable from here, where would you go?
So first off, I meant like when you want to go to Emmaus, you let us know, so you can go anytime you want.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I know, and I believe me, I am. Yeah, again, but like I just wanted to know like where you guys think is like some of the best spots. I think Emmaus is on that list certainly, and if not right at the very top. But like where else in your experience is like a really great place to go or to learn more about if you want to go on a paranormal investigation?
I would say, if they're in the St. Louis area, just say I would say, maybe like Limp is pretty good, I would say. But my top three picks within driving, and they're not in St. Louis, is Emmaus. It's a Ray County Museum in Richmond, Missouri. Yeah. And it's Malvern Manor in Malvern, Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that one. I'll have to look into that one.
Come anytime.
We need to get you out to Ray County.
We gotta get you out.
Yeah.
That would be my pick, Ray County. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. Alton, we've had a lot of great things. We've had a lot of great experiences in the Alton area too. It's another I don't know if every city's like this. You know, if every town or every area has, you know, spots that are particularly,
Chase.
you know, hot spots, but we definitely have them around our area, and the Alton area, for whatever reason, seems to be one of those as well.
Along the rivers, you know, like
Yeah.
the Mississippi River runs right through, you know, both
Yeah.
Alton and, you know, St. Louis.
Yeah,
You know,
both, and the
Castle
Missouri
Rock
River. You got both of those two huge rivers coming right through that area.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
Castle Rock says the Chase Plaza. That's a good one.
What hotel is it on? Was it 40 and Olive? Is it Drury Inn? One of the rooms or one of the floors is haunted.
Oh,
it's a newer hotel.
I do.
It's
I'm not going to be able to remember, but I do. Now that you say that, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for years, the radio station that I worked at was at Union Station downtown, and actually, Union Station has an incredible backstory, particularly in the clock tower, of employees that have worked there that have had these experiences, and it's been documented a little bit if you really like look for it or dig into it. There's been a couple of like investigations or like a television show, I think, that was recorded there like 20 years ago that focused on that, but it's not something that's well known at all. And like it's such a known known spot that you'd think that would be something that would be, that story would have been told more. But there's so many places that have history, paranormal history, that people don't even realize. Yeah.
Well, I've also heard the Fox Theater is also haunted.
I knew a guy who his wife played the organ at the Fox Theater, and he would go in and he would do maintenance on the pipes and everything. And he would always tell me, and this was way before I was really into this stuff. He would always tell me that, there's so much haunted experience going on in there, and I just never really thought anything of it then.
We did one of our Halloween shows was at the Fox Theater, and it was so I got to participate in a Ouija board session on stage at the Fox Theater.
Wow.
I mean, talk about it was it was just the show. It wasn't open. It wasn't like there wasn't an audience, but we broadcast. It was on our show, but we went down into the bowels of the building and also up top, and heard a lot of those. There's another. That's a perfect example of another well-known spot that's got a rich history of paranormal stories that don't get talked about enough. The Fox Theater is definitely and that makes sense because that theater has seen so much over so many people and so many different things over the years, so that makes sense that a spot like that would be so
place too. And there is a lot of history there at the Fox, so
absolutely.
St. Louis has got a lot of history, and I will tell you this too, and I don't know, I might have told you on your show when I was on your show, but St. Louis not only has a haunting history, but down by the Arch, a dog man was actually seen down there. So, I think about like how populated is downtown, seriously, downtown around the Arch, and for a dog man to be seen down there, there's a show. I'll have to send it to you, Tony.
Please. I think that gets back to the river. I think that has something to do with why St. Louis and places downtown or Alton, places close to the river.
But you got to remember also of all the mounds. It used to be called Mound City. And with all the burial grounds and stuff like that, there's a lot of theories with Dogman that's saying that they kind of hang out or near around those areas. Why? We don't know, of course, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean, even though most of those mounds are gone, I know there's a few still left, but it's still an area that they would be acquainted with throughout their generations, so I mean, that plays a big role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're super lucky to have it all right here in our backyard. And
Yes.
it just gives, people that want to get involved in the community and the people that are involved in the community, lots of really cool places to check out. I think I am going to have to jump, you guys, but I can start. I'm starting to hear rumbling from a child that
We get it.
probably needs to start
get
going to bed.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely. I thank you so much for letting me come on, and I would love to continue the conversation here. I'd love to have you guys back on my show sometime very, very soon. And I love that that you guys are talking about this and sharing your experiences. I just think it's super cool. So thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks, Donny.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you, Tony.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, back
looking
at you
forward to
guys.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looking
for
forward
sure.
to it.
Thank you guys so much. See
Thank
you around.
you.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
pretty
that was
incredible.
cool.
Yeah.
That whole experience he had with the exorcist house and
Hmm.
all of that, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, I do have to ask a question. What do you guys think, though? Should we, as the paranormal community, just leave that house alone from now on? Just leave it alone. I mean, could we unintentionally invite something back into the house that, that had all that bad stuff? Do you think we could do that unintentionally, but we could?
I think unintentionally, as every time an investigator goes in, it gives it energy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
feeds
because we
into
are
it.
talking demonic.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it left a piece, just say they exercised the whole thing, all right, but left a tiny hair or piece of something where it can make its way through. I always wondered about that because, I mean, people want to get in there, they want to investigate and stuff, but do they really know what they're messing with at that point?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
could it be residual from what somebody else brought that is not demonic? Or is it something that we could like reignite, light a fire where we shouldn't have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a lot of energy being projected in. And even though, let's just say there's nothing there,
Mhm.
people going in with that intention and that type
Yeah,
of
that's
energy
awesome.
and that assumption, now you're growing something there.
Yeah. So that whole manifesting thing is strong. It's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let everybody know, Tony Colombo, he's a huge personality here in the St. Louis area. And it was an honor that I was asked to be on his show, and that it was an honor that he agreed to come on ours. So I definitely appreciate
him.
All
Yeah.
knows who he is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool guy.
100%.
Really cool guy.
Yeah. So Natalie, you're gonna have to fly back because
I know. I've got to come back.
Yeah.
You know, I got to go find that dog man that we found that print. And I'm like,
there you go, girl.
yeah.
And
More
you know,
investigations.
the good thing is that I am looking into and exploring other locations that are smaller. Because I always have fun at smaller locations, not necessarily these big, huge ones. Yes, I love them too. But these smaller historical locations are what's gonna get me. You know, there is a lady we had on last week on Paranormal Show and Tell from the Aurora Brothel.
That's cool.
Had no idea about this history. They played us a clip of what they caught in there, and they heard a lady singing. She was singing. This EVP, you couldn't get exactly what she was singing, but you could definitely hear it. And it was like,
wow.
Are you kidding me? She goes, yeah. She goes, I've never heard it sing, but she says, I hear it humming the tune. I'm like, you heard it humming the tune? She goes, yeah, I just never heard it singing until then. I was like, oh, I got to come visit you. I have got to come visit you.
So there's also a house in Afton where I work, which is right here in St. Louis. It's called the Oakland House. And that's supposedly haunted. Feel the presence of a male spirit there. I know we've done a couple catering jobs there, and a couple of the caterers have had some experiences there.
Yes.
So, and that's a smaller place. It's in a little
Yeah.
neighborhood. So yeah.
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 Well, there was somebody that was reminding me, Randy Victoria Alexander. They were reminding me also, you can hear plain as day a piano being played
Wow.
in that audio. Yeah. So it was on last week's show. It's on the Blondes and Booze channel. We were talking about the Aurora brothel.
Yeah,
But-
that's cool. Aurora, what state?
Missouri. In
Really?
Aurora. Yeah. It's called the Aurora brothel in Aurora. Yeah.
So that's way over, like I think by past Springfield or something, is Aurora?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't even know it was there. I was like, what?
I mean,
And she's
So
very,
cool.
I mean, she's really super affordable. She said she is not trying to price gouge anyone. She just wants people to come enjoy it.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. She goes, I just want to keep the doors open.
Come on into the brothel. Yeah.
I was gonna say, how do I sell that? I want to go.
Right.
To a brothel.
Come on in. So
Come on in.
it's-
Have
Got a
some
bunch
fun.
of ones. Let's go.
right. It's just these super little locations that are fantastic. I went to the Ruffin in Covington, Tennessee last weekend. It's just a little theater. There were 3 of us there. Castle Rock was in there. And within the first 10 minutes, we had EVPs. I mean,
Wow.
bam,
Wow.
and they were there. It was like in the first 10, and we were just walking around talking, and they're showing me this, that, and the other, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, wait a minute. So, and there's a really big history to this place. Of course, it's only a little ways out of Memphis, which about 30 miles or so. But Elvis Presley played there. Because how they branch out and do all the little theaters and stuff, and he was one of the ones there, and we're still going over all of our evidence and everything that we've got, some quite compelling things, but this it's just a little theater. It's not anything huge, but it's little, and I'm starting to really love these little places. I'm
That's
finding
why-
that.
That's why I'm all about the private cases.
Yeah, I mean, I like
Yep.
those too. I like those too.
I need to get you guys to come to work with me
Yeah.
because we have a basement there, and before it was
all day.
not work with me, but before it was a meat market and catering thing, there was the building had a swimming pool in the basement, and supposedly a little kid drowned down there. And every now and then people keep hearing things downstairs, and I've never really experienced anything down there. They say that I can go down there. We don't have anybody coming in at night to on Saturday nights to clean the upstairs, the cutting room and everything. So, I mean, they said, if you want to come in on a Saturday night after we close, I can do it. So
You set it up.
We can do it. Yeah, we can do it.
Set it
Yeah.
up, Paul. Let us
Absolutely.
know.
it'll be after the holidays. It'll be in January.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still have stuff planned out until after the 12th of December.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I love those places. I love those places. I really, really do. Even like the old little hospitals and things like that. There's just fantastic stuff. But I really am starting to enjoy the smaller spots because I was always on this. They talk about, this is the most haunted place. Da da da, and I'm like, well, you got to show me, of course. But now I'm really interested in Missouri and the surrounding areas that are really close that we have not explored.
Right.
That people are just now opening up. And I mean, everybody, they're there. You just look around your town, your county, even surrounding counties. I bet you there's a place.
So the 3 of us need to go visit Natalie because I want to go to St. Augustine.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
That's a hot spot.
We
Let's
need
do
to
it.
Where I
take
want
a
to go?
trip.
You know where I want to go?
Where?
I want to go to Disney World after it's closed.
Oh,
That would be creepy.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That place
Yeah, but you
got
probably
to
have
be.
to have a really good hookup to go visit.
Yeah. You'd have to
Yeah.
have a permit or something. But
But
yeah,
I mean,
there's
if
a
we're going to talk
lot.
about the bucket list,
That
that
would
would
be a
be
good
my
one.
bucket list. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be.
there's
'Cause,
a
I mean, I heard the one in. Well, I heard all the Disneys are haunted,
oh
but
yeah, I've
mainly
heard
the
that
one in
too.
Disneyland because it's it's in California. It was the first one. Okay, but
Mhm.
Disney World has got some hauntings too. So I'm thinking, well, that would be a nice bucket list. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that whole area was a Seminole Indians were
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
so there is a lot of areas where there are unmarked graves.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
possible.
Mhm.
So I mean, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
road
so
trip. I guess
Road
early,
trip.
I'm free
You guys
early
are like,
January.
"Excuse me, can you let me in?"
Go see Natalie.
Come on.
Like, Look,
I'll
I don't
keep
want
the
to
light
eat
on for
anything.
you. I'll be like Motel 6.
Right.
Oh,
Once
Motel
the
6
lights
is
on, the door's
nasty.
open, just lock it when you come in. Okay, that's
Right.
it. Thanks.
I don't see
And
a
shut
problem
up
with
and be
that. Just let
quiet.
us, we'll lock up when we leave.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, exactly.
We have trusting faces, don't we?
Hmm.
Maybe, I would just like to see, some of these places that we wouldn't think to investigate. I mean, some of us have said, which I've said it before, is the White House is another one that I would love to investigate. Not that we'll ever get in there, but it
No.
is a thing that I would love to do, because,
Yeah.
there's some creepy stuff going on in there, especially with Lincoln's wife and all of that they
Yeah.
went through. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we need to branch out. We need to start knocking on people's doors being, hello.
Is your house haunted?
Excuse us.
It's maybe a long shot, but I was driving by.
You
You know
don't
what,
know me, but
Brandy?
you don't know me,
I-
but can I come in your house and
Yeah.
Well,
sit and you
I
guys
was
leave?
I was just thinking, do you remember that house in Dutso that I showed
Yes.
you? That
Yes.
I saw that crawler thing next
Yes,
to?
that's what I mean.
So let's
That's
get
what I
some
mean.
balls and go knock on their door and say,
Yeah.
Hey,
hey,
have you ever had any weird things happen in your house?
Yeah.
have you seen a crawler in your house?
Exactly.
Well,
The little glittery thing that's outside, black misty looking thing. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, look, that the neighborhood I lived in the house that I just sold, the entire neighborhood had paranormal activity. The entire
Wow.
every
Wow.
single house we would get together, like, what happened to you? And things would be moving. Nothing bad, but it would, you would hear things. Things would be moving. Things would be, creaking, or a dog would bark, but you don't have a dog. It was just very, very weird. The whole neighborhood.
Mhm.
So we have a Union, Missouri here, and it has the Union Screaming House, which is known as it plays on people's fears. And
Mhm.
so it's supposedly demonically haunted. Down the road from the Union Screaming House is a huge cemetery. And so this was with an old team. We were called in to investigate, and it's a whole block of houses. And there's 7 houses, all look the same, cookie cutter, split level type houses. And every one of them had activity going on. And it wasn't, some of them was more mild than others, but some of the houses, it was bad. But in the back of one of the houses was like a sinkhole.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know. Isn't that
Okay,
weird?
so
There's all kinds of stuff going on there. You have the Union Screaming House, then you got the cemetery, and then you got this row of houses.
Unmarked graves?
No, it's a huge cemetery. It's huge.
But
old cemetery.
Yeah, but I'm thinking unmarked graves that weren't like
Could be.
back in the day.
You know, that very well could be, because
Ooh.
the cemetery is huge, and then you got to go around the cemetery, and that's the road. So you could be right, Natalie.
Ooh.
But there's it's a round sinkhole though. Yeah. We investigated that, and that was some crazy stuff in those houses, man. That was a
Wow.
long mission, to do all those houses, but we did it. That was probably, I don't know,
Cool.
10 years ago or something. It was interesting. I've seen
there's a little cemetery. I've talked about this before, but there's a little cemetery down the road from me, out in the middle of nowhere. Just bam, there it is. Just a little one. And I'm thinking, would anybody see me if I went down there? And I'm just afraid that somebody might see me driving by. You know, not that there's a lot of traffic by any means, but I'd be like, man, they'll see me because I would have to drive my vehicle down there because it's probably about a mile down there.
Yep.
And I'm like,
So, Brandy, we have talked about, because I too have a cemetery right next to my house. Well, there's a field in between, but we should do a live Blondes and Booze from the cemeteries.
There you
I'll
go.
go to mine by myself. You go to yours by yourself. I'm game.
yeah, but I'll probably get caught and thrown out.
I don't care if I get caught and thrown out. I just walk home.
What I'm thinking is that a lot of the old farmer families, we know where they pass down the land from generation to generation. I think that is their family-ish cemetery. I think that's what that is. So
if you're not doing anything bad, you shouldn't get thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
You're just visiting a loved one. They don't need to know who it is.
unless it's on private land,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure of that. See, because all this land is owned by, I think, like 2 or 3 families. That's what I said. If that's on private property, I may be in trouble.
Just tell them you're a distant cousin.
Yeah. I'll be
Twice
like, look,
removed.
I've always wondered,
twice removed.
who was out here. I've always wondered who was out here.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Look, did you have to do it in the middle of the night?" Well, yeah.
On a
I was bored.
podcast.
I work all day.
I was
The only
bored.
time I can get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah. I work all the time. I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
And you needed to go on the podcast to, for your safety so people could see if anything
Right.
happened to
Yeah.
you. So
Right.
Even though
There's
nobody
a
would-
see?
we
even though
have your
nobody would
alibi
know where I'm
all.
at, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Oh, look, we have more company.
BMR.
We do.
Come on up.
Oh, I can
There
add
he
myself.
is.
There he is.
Hello.
You
Well,
sure can add
hello.
What
yourself.
up?
Hey.
We all can add ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptical.
Whoa,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Castro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Casto. I appreciate
You
it.
see, I come on to Mr. Castro.
Yeah.
You
He had
know,
no idea you were going to be here.
no idea whatsoever. I
He's
didn't
here for the
either.
booze. He's here
I
for the
heard,
booze.
well, you guys, I saw 4 Blondes. It was fantastic. Good job.
Thank you for the extra
Thank you.
Then you made a
subscriber from
friend.
Franklin. We appreciate
Mr.
that.
Franklin. It's funny because when I was
Freaky
leaving, I
Franklin.
had to set it up for for Franklin.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
There you
And
go.
For the cow
Franklin.
picture.
Hey, listen, so when I'm leaving, I go, Franklin, now you know how to chat and stuff. He goes, Roger. Calls me
Roger.
Roger.
He goes, man, I don't think I'll ever know how to work this apparatus that you set up for
This
us.
apparatus. That's hilarious.
So he was a cool guy. It was fun. I was picking up some stuff I forgot to get, some
Yeah.
medication and that. And so I was listening to this show. It was fantastic. Then you guys were talking about ghosts and cemeteries.
Yes.
And
We do a lot of show from cemeteries.
Yeah.
So I don't, it's up to you guys, but it reminds me of a cemetery encounter that I got from some guy that I was supposed to do over Halloween.
Okay.
So, I got that if you want me to share that briefly.
Absolutely. I do have a question though.
You
So
do.
Natalie, Paul, and BMR, do you guys have cemeteries close to you, and we can all
I
plan
do.
a live show?
We can
all
all
Yeah.
by ourselves,
we can all just
spread
Yeah.
out.
You know,
I'll just
yeah,
at a
I
different
do.
cemetery.
I would definitely get kicked out, but I can go to Jefferson Barracks.
Ooh, that's a good haunted one.
Well, see, I
I've
could
been
actually
there.
get permission and go downtown to the biggest one.
Yeah.
So we
I,
will plan a show live from cemeteries.
Yeah, no, I have a
Natalie?
I have
Yeah.
a cemetery
Okay.
3
I
miles.
have a cemetery right up the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
so do I.
I'll have to get special permission, but by golly, I'll get it. I'll go to the big one.
Well,
Yeah.
the cemetery by my house, I did a show. You guys know this about it leads up to a creek and the woods, and this guy had a bunch of those what do you call those? The gnomes, stone gnomes in his backyard,
Yes.
and he
yes.
says they always got like rearranged and moved around, and he
Ah.
thought that they were actually like alive. And he was asking me if he thought, because I ran into him, he was a neighbor, an old neighbor
Mhm.
friend of mine, and he had asked me what I thought of that because he knows about our shows.
Yeah.
If that was like paranormal, if the gnomes could come to life, and I say, well, I do believe in the fae and fairies, and gnomes is part of that genre, right? So you never know. You never know. So it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But,
tell the story.
yeah, I got this pretty cool story. You know, we do so many things in October, Halloween wise, that I forgot to talk about this one on a show. So I figured, well, why not? You guys are talking about ghosts and cemeteries, and this is a pretty cool story that I recall. It was from this guy. He says to me in this email, he says, "Hey Rob, my name is Evan. I watch all your guys' shows. I'm a subscriber." And he was telling me that he liked to walk at night. And he says, especially what he liked to do was he would like to walk through cemeteries at night. He said it cleared his thoughts, and like no other piece he could find, it was always at the cemetery. And he was telling me that back in October of 2013, it was evening time, right before the sun was setting. He chose a route in this cemetery that he had never taken before, and it was called the Old Ash Grove Cemetery. Now, this guy told me, you guys, that he lives in the Midwest. So, you know, kind of boil it down there where we all kind of live, with the exception of the lovely Floridian, who gets sunshine in the Sunshine State. But
That's
regardless,
me.
yes, that's
Yep.
Natalie. Yes. So he was telling me that he says the cemetery is not very large, but it seemed kind of like, to him, he thought it was very ancient, very old. He explained to me that it was surrounded by a wrought iron fences, but they're all encrusted over in rust. And everything about this cemetery was very old and decrepit. And he says there was a path that led through the headstones that dipped into this hollow. And he says, Rob, it was such a deep hollowed out area. It seems like the moon and the light, the ambience of the light, never got to this hollow. So it was always very dark. And he says, when he gets to this gate, he got this feeling that he should hesitate and not go in, unlike other times before. He said he felt this inside his body. He felt this low pressure start to form or emulate inside his chest area. And he says, and the cemetery air seemed to be a lot thicker. He says he can't explain it, but it was very, very odd experience. But he says, you know what, Rob? I still continued. So, you know, I'm reading through this. And then as I remember, he says he walks, and he says he's walking, and it was very silent. He can't hear any crickets, nothing with Mother Nature. He says there was no wind. He said even typically you could hear the traffic in the background, but the traffic even sounded muffled. And I found this to be odd because, or not odd, because all of us that are involved in cryptids and that, every time the forest goes silent, there's something going on.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. We all know
So he continues on, though. He goes, Rob, now I can hear these footsteps. He said they were not ahead of him. They were not behind him. But he says, Rob, they were beside him. I'm like, whoa. And he says they were kind of soft, and they were like a dragging step. He says they were very slow, very deliberate, and they were keeping pace with his walking, right? I'm like, okay. And he says again, which reminds me of predators, because every time he stopped, the footfall stopped, right? When he walked, the footfall started. So we all can relate to this. So the seven guy says, Rob, it sounded like, he said, it sounded kind of like the leaves were shifting and making the footfall. And that's the first thing that entered his mind. But he says that he knows deep down that it wasn't the leaves. It was something else, right? So he says now the pressure inside his chest, it begins to tighten even more, even with a fuller force than earlier when he got up to this iron gate. And then he could hear something breathing very heavily in his ear. And so he goes on. He says, then, Rob, I hear this whisper. And he says this whisper, you could feel the breath. He says it was warm but cold all at the same time. And it brushed back on his neck. And then he could hear the formulation of words, which said to him in his mind, leave.
Ooh.
So this Evan guy says to me, he goes, "Hey, Rob," he goes, "I spun around, but nobody was there."
Mhm.
He says all he could remember seeing is the crooked offset headstones in the cemetery that led out through this gate, right? He says, "Rob, I don't remember walking back to the road. I don't remember crossing the threshold of the gate or anything of this nature." And then he said, all of a sudden, the sounds of nature and the traffic came back like normally, like he was always used to. So he says he continues on out of this cemetery. Then he hears this heavy thud. He says, now this is definitely like a person walking very distinctly. He says, man, that really spooked me out. He says he turns around, he heads home. So that night, as he's at home, he says his house felt wrong. He says his dog, who always is eager to greet him, at his door when he comes home, refused to come near this guy, Evan. Very odd. He says, my dog loves me. He shunned me. He says, when I walked through my house, my door, my dog ran from me. This has never happened to me ever. I've had the dog for like 5 years, he says. I'm thinking, wow, man. So he says he tries to go to sleep, but he felt that same pressure that he got from the cemetery pressure. The same pressure that he felt followed him all the way home. He's in his bedroom. He jumps up because he hears a thud downstairs in his basement. And he says they were very deliberate steps, and they're coming up his staircase toward his bedroom. Then all of a sudden he recognizes the steps. It was the same footfall that he remembered back at the cemetery earlier that night. He forces himself to sit up, he tells me, and then he says the air in his room, it got very heavy like at the cemetery, but at the same time it got very warm, of a very icy, a combination. And he knows that all of his windows are sealed tight. He says he has good insulation. He cannot explain for this unforeseen different fluctuations in temperature. And of course, he's terrified with the footfall in his house, the footsteps. Then he says he looks down his hallway and he says something's standing there. He says he can't see it directly, but he could feel and sense its shape. It was very tall, a lean presence. And he says it looked like a cloth that was soaked in water, from what I recall, which is wild, right? So he says he just waited there. And he says this thing waited there outside his bedroom door from the hallway. And so this Evan tells me, he goes, Rob, I mustered up a sentence, and he says, what do you want? What do you want? This Evan says right into the hallway to where this presence. He said all of a sudden he got very cold, and he felt the floorboards in his house got very cold beneath his feet. And then he says he hears, much like the sound that he heard at the cemetery, he says, you walked where the dead still walk. He says, you've heard, hang on, let me think this. He goes, you have heard what was not meant for the living. So we followed you. And then it disappeared into the night. And that's this guy's experience. This email I got, I was supposed to do this for Halloween. So I figured, why not share it tonight on the Blondes and the Booze? That is creepy. That's creepy.
A little bit.
It's insanely creepy. And thank you
That
for
is
sharing.
really
That's
creepy.
awesome.
Yeah, real quick, I want to give a couple shout outs. Paranormal Paul, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
I missed the cow picture.
Ash's Antics, I'll gladly give it to you.
I don't want it. I just not seeing it.
He wants it.
No, I don't.
Yep, he does. He give it to him.
I'm going to bury it. And Cryptical Crossroads, thank you very much for the memberships. And thank you once again for the super.
Mr. Castro.
So I'm going to give a shout out to him too, because I actually, if you guys look behind me and you see the pretty skull painted up there on the wall,
Yeah.
that
So
is from him.
talented.
He did that. He's very, very talented.
And I got one in the corner of my room here, right over there. Yeah. Thanks.
Really?
I got mine hanging up right over here too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yes, very, very talented.
Anything hung up. I need to hang something up.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, Brando.
Yeah, 4 years that cow's been up there. He's gone today.
And I got my walking stick from Gary Spikes.
Yep.
I have mine over in my
I
corner.
have mine in a corner. All
I
my
got
stuff's
mine.
in corners. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You guys are great. Seriously, you guys have become friends, and everybody says, "Oh, you're giving, moderators and stuff." You know what? You guys are friends.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
yeah, why wouldn't we? We've talked to you, we've been on shows with you, we've met you in person. Why wouldn't we? You know, 'cause we appreciate
Right.
you guys being here for us.
Yeah.
I do want to make a quick announcement. There is another troll out there that goes by the name Midwest Paranormal. And if she is on there, if any of you people see her in our chat, please ban her immediately. She's trolling Brandy and our friend Terry and Holly. So
All righty.
we
Yeah.
do not allow that. And Paranormal Paul, she's been in yours.
She has?
Been on the Facebook, yes. She's been on the
Not-
Facebook.
Not the Facebook. I said that earlier. The Facebook.
The Facebook.
I was called a grandpa for saying the Facebook.
I,
Well,
said,
actually, it was-
I said dungarees yesterday.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah, you
that's
did.
really old. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I did.
That's
And I think
Oh.
she's the youngest one of the bunch here.
She is.
She's the baby, the new baby.
She's the baby.
I'm
Aw.
a baby.
oh, the
I'm
baby.
a baby at 52.
Oh well. Oh, we're all within a decade. We're all within this eight years.
I'll be 54 coming up.
I'll be 58 coming up in January.
Yeah. You're the old man of the
Oh
bunch.
yeah. Well, you guys are all 50, so I ain't that old.
No,
Yeah, that's right.
not at
That's
all.
right. That's right.
Once you hit 50,
Yeah.
I stopped counting. Actually, I stopped counting at 40.
Right.
Hey, let me ask you guys, like that story? You think that was something real, or what? You think that guy made that shit up or that stuff up?
I don't think I made it up at all.
No.
Yeah, I think that was too real. It was too
Dang it, Bobby.
dang about it. Yeah, that's how they're saying.
I don't know. I mean, creepier things have happened,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
but when you go walk somewhere and then you just have this, apprehension about entering somewhere. That's always a red flag to me. And then when you get in it and then you get the overwhelming feeling of, yeah, I shouldn't be here. I
Mhm.
need to leave. I don't know. Those are real emotions that I felt myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So real quick too, before we get off of here, let me go to my messenger because Sparky sent a couple messages to me, and during this show, 2 clips, one the beep, the second an odd snap. So I will listen to it after the show, and then someone shushed us
Always.
We got
That was
Sure.
me. I passed gas.
on our
Sorry.
own show.
Oh,
No, wait
You
a
mean
minute.
that somebody
Now, I have
heard a
been-
shush?
That's what Sparky just sent me some clips.
You
of.
know,
Listen
it's
to it.
funny because I thought I heard that as well. And I thought I was hearing something.
Okay, I get
And it was a
shushed in my
shush.
house, y'all. I get shushed in my house. I get shushed.
I get shushed every second,
Really?
every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Shh.
Yeah, but I don't have anybody in
Nothing new there.
in my
Should
area
let 'em know
telling me
that
to
one.
shush.
you guys also had something come in on 4 Blondes, a beep or something.
Yeah, there was a beep.
And that was during 4 Blondes.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was during this.
Oh,
There was a beep on
I
here.
think there was
Yeah,
something
there
on
was a
4
beep on
Blondes.
there.
Somebody mentioned in chat on 4 Blondes. Maybe it wasn't a beep, but it was something on 4 Blondes. Someone mentioned. I forgot already. But
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear a shush, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen because
I will forward this to our chat with all of us and let
Cool.
y'all listen what
Yeah.
Sparky sent me.
but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody tried to shush me.
I know.
But the beep was loud as day. I heard that.
Yeah,
No,
I-
the
Sparky
beep was
said it was on
loud.
this show.
I get shushed all the time in the paranormal world and the normal world.
JoJo
Mhm.
says the comment deleted by Randy. Okay, let me read it. Let me see if I can find it.
That's where did
It was a
go?
comment that shushed us, or
No.
oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah. And actually, Nemo, yes, we do trust Donny Cho. He is a friend of ours.
Yes.
Absolutely, we do. And thank you for Randy for taking that down. Appreciate it. Yeah. So anyway, it's all good. It's all good, man.
Right.
It's
Right.
always
Yeah.
good. It's almost the weekend.
Positivity goes a long, long way.
Did you guys read my post on PRT page?
Yes, I did.
About
About
Olivia?
your child.
Oh, I
trying to
did.
take
Was
your
that
Yes,
clothing.
Olivia?
her T-shirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
your T-shirt.
Yeah. It was funny. She stole my shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was sweet.
Dang kid. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate you guys all coming on here, man.
Thank you.
Sure,
This has been kind of fun.
it was.
Yeah. I had to get my fill of the blondes because you don't do the Friday show, which is normally when I'm on that. Well, every once a month. So I
Yeah,
had to come in and tell that story.
we
and
gave
say
up
hi.
Fridays.
Yeah, we gave up Fridays. It's you know,
Yeah.
we got stuff on the horizon, and we got to make room.
Yes, you do, which
We
is
do.
Gotta
awesome.
make room.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
yeah. So anyway, we appreciate everybody tuning in to
Yeah.
us, and please subscribe to the 4 Blondes and 1 Mystery at a Time. Also, we're trying to grow that channel, and we've got some really cool things coming up, and you will only hear about it on that channel. Also, Bigfoot Michigan Rob's channel and Paranormal Among Us, Paranormal Paul's channel.
Yes.
Subscribe to all of us.
Yes.
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 Spread the love.
Spread the
Spread
love.
the
Come see
love.
us. Talk
Hey,
to
wait,
us. Yeah.
wait, real quick. So Natalie and I read your comment today, BMR, that you're going to Alabama. Is that true?
Yeah.
If the Lions are not in the playoffs, that's my only contingency plan.
Oh, well,
That's
we don't have to worry
They
about
have
that,
a-
then, do we?
So you're
oh,
going to
yeah.
be
Oh,
there.
Chris
You got a
they
wild
were-
card spot.
They've had back-to-back playoff. Yeah, and I love the Lions. I love the Lions
Yeah.
more than I love myself.
Yeah, and he can't watch that anywhere but from, Michigan.
The big
No.
screen in the basement. Yes, that's where
You got a
I'm at.
freaking phone at
I
a
don't-
conference?
I don't even have friends with me when I watch the Lions because I'm so intense.
So you're going to be in
Wow.
Bama. Okay, great. We'll see you
Oh,
there.
okay, great. Thank you for the
Yeah.
shout out for the
Yeah, we'll
Lions.
see you in Alabama.
Yeah, God.
You're welcome to fly
Oh,
to St.
however,
Louis
though, I'm
after.
going to be flying into that state called Missouri.
That's fine.
Missouri.
I'm going to have to hitch your ride from somewhere.
I'm sure Mayor Paul 1 will come and get you. Not a
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Well, I guess if it's snowing, I'm driving. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
heard
got
that.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, you got the Jeep that I can't
He's
get
got
up
the Jeep.
into. Really, that's very cool, Paul.
I got a step stool.
I'm not that old. Man.
Hey, I rode all the way to Tennessee over to Townsend, and then finally at the end, I figured out how to get in the damn thing. Paul's Jeep is lifted.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you guys a little story about my friend Krista. I had a gimbal. I told her where it was, and I know where it was. It was the upper right-hand corner beneath her window, and I
Yeah.
said, find it, let me know. I'll just buy another one. I want to get a better one anyway. It's one that you can remotely use. Rob, it's not there. It's not there. And yeah, I know why it wasn't there because somehow that little gimbal got buried beneath all the crap in the back of her vehicle.
Everybody knows my
I
car.
said, how did that even get there? Physically get there? It can't get there,
Yeah.
but it did.
Yeah.
But weird things happen at the museum. So who knows? Maybe my little ghostly little friend did something once again.
Yes. Maybe
You
so.
never know. You never know.
But I told you I found it. I got it for you.
You did. I know you told me.
I'll give it to you when you come to the Alabama.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well.
I'll give
If I
that
don't
to
have a new one by then, but yeah.
There you go. All right, everybody. We definitely appreciate you guys. And
Yeah,
thanks for tuning
definitely.
in. This was fun. We just, kind of the last few just BS'd, and it's all good. So
Yeah.
anyway, everyone have a good night.
Oh, Saturday night, Brandy won't be there. Krista, are you gonna be there Saturday night with me and Monica? Well, I might have to recruit Natalie.
I
No.
can't do Saturday night.
I'm
this week.
kidding, Natalie. I just
Any other weekend would be good, but this weekend, no.
Yeah, you're fine. I got me and Monica. Maybe not Krista. Was that a no from
I'll
Krista?
let you know. I'll let you know.
Let me know. Well, I at least got all I need is one. And Brando is doing another gig somewhere. So.
Yeah, I'm doing another gig. So yeah,
Where are you going to be, Brando?
Arcadia Valley Academy.
I figured so. That's what I was thinking.
Very
All righty,
good.
guys. I appreciate everybody, and we will see you on the next side.
Flip side.
Flip
The
side.
flippity flip.
All right.
We'll see y'all soon. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
right.
Night,
Yes.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Right.
Good night.
That is like a